Hi, everyone. I'm coming to you today to talk a little bit about resources and data. So, if you think about it, all of us have been given a tremendous amount of resources. And I'm not going to specifically go to things like education or promotions, things like that. I want to focus in on those resources that all of us are born with. Now, certainly it's a developmental thing in some ways, but we're all given them right at the beginning. So think about it from, in this case, the adult perspective, right? And imagine, if you will, this idea of the triangle. You've heard me mention this before in some of our posts that we've also kind of pointed to it. This idea that in this triangle, in the center of it is your brain. And let me be clear, I'm not saying that this is the exhaustive use of your brain by any stretch. But for the purposes of what's there for our benefit, again, resources, the reality is that in each of the points of this triangle, there's three different types of resources. There's the cognitive, right? The intellectual, the logic part. This is the stuff that we all know, right? How do you do X? How do you do Y? How do you get to here? How do you get to there? That kind of thing. And then on another point, there's that emotional. The emotional side is what we're feeling when certain problems or opportunities come our way. And that could be everything from anger, frustration, joy, enthusiasm, things like that. And then in that final point is your spiritual. As I've said many times before, I'm not talking about religion. However, the reality of it is that it reveals who we are. That's what I mean by spiritual. What makes you the only you on the planet? Now, what happens with this? In our society, in America anyway, we've heavily weighted over on that cognitive, that first point. And quite frankly, it worked probably pretty well, because when you think about America and how advanced and technologically and as it relates to how we do what we do here in this country. But one thing that the pandemic did that I think in many ways we didn't see coming is that it opened up our eyes to the reality of something that we had neglected. Two things, actually, those other 2 points, the emotional and the spiritual. Now here, let me bring it home for you about the data piece. So as you're going through your life, whether it's in your work or whether it's in your personal life, again, you're confronted with all kinds of problems and opportunities. And if you're making your decisions with only 1/3 of your resources, you're going to be left wanting. I think that maybe seems kind of natural, doesn't it? So my recommendation or my encouragement to you today is start to explore those other 2 points so that when you encounter the inevitable problems and opportunities, you can make decisions with full data, all 3 points. That seems to me the best way to get the kind of outcomes that we all want. Thanks for tuning in.